Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. A man must know himself. This is very important. In ancient Kemet, modern day Egypt, known as modern day Egypt now, a powerful saying was, know thyself. And that's very important for a man, not just in getting women, but just going through life. He has to know who he is. See, a big problem out here, too many men are following others. They feel like they have to do what others do. They feel like they have to wear the same style that someone else has, or, cut their hair the way someone else has. One of the things I remember, I was talking with a friend of mine from back in the day, and I remember he said, and this was back in the 90s, early 2000s, he said this. He said, everybody's like walking around like a clone of someone else. Back in our day, everybody had their own style, had their own way of doing things, And I've seen that a lot. Somebody will say, well, nobody else doing it like that. And to me, that's the perfect reason. It's like, okay, but I'm not everybody else. Or, that person that's their own style. That's how they're going to do. And everything. That's because they know themselves. See, here's the thing. When you know yourself, then you know what you want. You know what you want in women. You know what you want in life. I use myself for an example. Rom's a science fiction fan. Now, I remember this was way back in, this is back in 1983. I was supposed to meet a woman at this, at this movie theater to go see a Star Trek film. It was Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. She didn't show up. She stood me up. And I remember I told my cousin, she would say, yeah, well, you would have some trouble getting women like that. You got to do what they want. I was like, pfft. But, I might not like what they want. I know what I like. I know myself. Science fiction, comic books. When I stuck with that, the women that would gravitate towards me liked the same things because I knew who I was and that's what I was presenting and everything. And see, knowing myself, then I didn't have as many problems because I was like, well, I know what I like. I don't have to think about it and stuff. And not to say I ain't tried other things, but I knew what I like. I knew where I was going. I knew what I wanted to do on my life's mission. And everything, because you have to know that. You have to be strong within yourself. You may have to know who you are, because once you know your mission, then you know what you need for. You know who can be an ally in that mission. You know who can be an asset, and then you also know who can be a liability. But then you also know what you want. See, understand something. You have forces out here that try to tell you what you want. Like in advertising, let's just be real with it. Advertisers try to tell you that you need this particular product. And indeed, like you get, I use right here on YouTube. I've said often, y'all notice people will say, hey, you should do a video on this or do this. And then if they check back, the comments deleted. I was like, no, I know what I want to do. And in fact, that's another thing, like with gaslighting. People constantly trying to gaslight you, on any situation. Tell you have a problem. Tell you this or that and some people, they get caught up in it. But if you know who you are, that doesn't work. You can stand strong against it. It was like, they say you this, and this. And you can look at them and say, you a liar. You a liar. It don't work. See, a lot of men get messed up because they don't know who they are. Then somebody else can dictate to them. They can dictate to them. But the power a man has is knowing who he is, knowing what he's about, knowing his strengths because he can enhance them, knowing his weaknesses so he can work on them. He can shore up his defenses and everything. Then he can go through life. You have to know. You would know your own gifts. If you know your own gifts, then you know what you can do for a living. You know what you'll stand for and don't stand for. Because ultimately, I don't care. Even if you try to be a part of a herd, a group, or anything, you still walk in your own path. But how can you do that? Because I'm gonna tell you something now. Let's bring this back around to relationships. Women look to men to lead. But how can he lead if he don't know who he is and where he's going? I want y'all to think about that. You gotta know. Now, if the woman don't agree with that, okay, fine, let her go. You're like, no, this is what I'm doing. You either down for that program or not. You know? Or when people try to say, well, you should do this, you should. It's like, no, that's not me. You don't dictate to me. I know what I'm about. And then, like I said, it gives you strength against someone trying to like jump on you, gaslight you or something like that. But you got to know who you are. How many men watching this really know who they are? Seriously. How many men watching this like truly know who they are? Truly know where they want to go in life? You know, it's scary. I mean, I've encountered men in their 40s and 50s who didn't know who they were. And you can see it in their lives. They didn't know who, and when I say it, not just some like political identity or something, but who they are deep down, what their mission is, you know, what they are willing to stand for. I want you to think about that. You know, and seriously, that's a pitiful thing in my eyes. That's a pitiful thing. Because then if a man can't stand for something, he'll fall for anything. Many men fall for anything because they don't know what they're standing for. You know? They don't know what they're going to do and stuff. And then, like I said, you got forces, both personal and great forces, that work to influence you. Propaganda. You know, they try to shape your opinion. If you don't know who you are, you're vulnerable to that. Because if you know who you are, nothing can mess with you. That's power. That's power. You know what to work on. You know how to deal with people. You know what you stand for and what you're not going to tolerate. And I can't emphasize this enough. It seems like a simple concept, but let's be real. How many people really know themselves? Seriously, you got people, you got men in professions, and they could be making money, but they're not happy. Because it's not really what they want to do. You know, how many men have gone on to, you know, some professional school or got in a business and did something that's not really them. That's not what they wanted. But they might be following along, or worse, they have no idea what they really want and stuff. And it's something you have to work on. Now, it's no shame if you're watching this, you don't really know. There's no shame there, but it is a shame if you're not trying to find out. And you know, to know yourself, you have to be introspective. You got to like shut out all the noise from the outside. You have to engage in that mirror talk. Shout out C Boogie. You have to say, what is it that I want? What do I want to do? What do I want to be a part of? And stuff. What is it I'm good at? What is it I'm not good at? That's a very key thing. That's a very key thing going through life. Focus on knowing yourself, and then you'll find the way you're dealing with the entire world is from a place of power. You will see it. You will know it. You will be able to walk your own path, because ultimately you have to anyway. You have to anyway. So you can walk it from a place of power. Know thyself. I want y'all to really think on it. I want y'all to really work on that, all right? And I'll get back with y'all next Saturday on these type of videos. You know, I'm going to get back with y'all tomorrow and Monday otherwise, you know. Yeah. But, you know, and let me just say something real quick. When I do these videos, this goes beyond man gets woman. Even though I mentioned that briefly in this video, this is about just being a man, period. My Saturday videos, just being a man, period, all right? So, and the thing a man has to do is know himself. So anyway, now I'm out. Talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.